Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Solo ReacTalk. Tonight, I'm going to be reacting to 3 videos requested by JP Spectre and 7. They are centered around Elden Ring. There are as follows: Malenia boss fight, no damage and parry, Elden Ring. Elden Ring, lore, storytime, Miquella and Malenia. Elden Ring, Mohg, Lord of Blood, boss fight, 4K 60 FPS. Yes. Remember, if you want to check out my previous reactions to the other Elden Ring requested videos by JP Spectre N7, the card will be at the top. Just click on it and you'll be able to access them. If you want to check out the original videos, remember I'm going to put the link in the description below. And yeah, let's start. Okay, first one, Malenia boss fight, no damage and parry, Elden Ring. Right, 3, 2, 1, go. This tree, or the roots of this tree, they really do look frightening. And I remember it wasn't like the first time, like after like 10 times or more times, I don't remember how many times have I watched, people play this game, but I could tell that there was a face, in the branches here, or in the roots, I should say, a face, like a body. I'm not sure who that is. I'm not sure what that is, or maybe I'm just seeing things. I don't know, but maybe you guys can also see it. Like there is a body. The roots are shaped like a body somehow, and I could see it, but I just couldn't tell like who was it, or was it Malenia, in her past life. I don't know. I just saw this human figure in the roots, or maybe I'm going mad. I'm sorry, guys. I just had to talk about this, because it's important. Because I'm seeing things here, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'm looking too deeply into it. Yeah. You see, right there. There's a humanoid face in the roots and a humanoid body, like in this main root area, if I can say that. I don't know. Like there's a humanoid body in there. Yeah. It must be Malenia's Miquella, because she is the Blade of Miquella. So probably that's Miquella there, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And there she is. What I like about, her armor, or should I say her robotic arms, is that I think she also has robotic feet. Because you can see the feet, they also have their own individual, like, plate armors on the toes. So yeah, I find that quite nice. I'm just wondering whether it is her armor or is it a prosthetic, foot, because of the scarlet rot. Yeah.
I dreamt for so long. My flesh was dull gold, and my blood rotted. Corpse after corpse left in my wake, as I awaited his return. Heed my words. I am Malenia, Blade of Miquella. and I have never known defeat.
I've watched so many YouTube channels where where I saw people fight against Malenia. They didn't even last 10 seconds in the opening battle. They just never even lasted 10 seconds, you know. And they would just sit there with their controllers just looking at the screen. Some of them, they would go ballistic. Some of them, they would start crying and, you know, start complaining like, how is that possible? I was ready. I did this. I did that. It's because you guys take her words lightly. You take her words lightly, you know. When she says she's never known defeat, some of them are like, I'll defeat you. You're not that hard. Next thing, 1, 2, 3, dead. Oh gosh. And you know what? With Malenia, right? She reminds me of a Japanese animation I used to watch when I was very young. It was called Black Cat. I don't know if you guys know it. Black Cat. There is a leader of an assassin's guild. Her designation was number 1. She was number 1. And she kind of looks like Malenia, you know, with the long blade. And she's super strong. Just like Malenia, and she also has like the same figure, just like Malenia. It's just that, you know, with her, you know, you can see her eyes. She has blonde hair, you know, and yeah, she just reminds me so much of Malenia, number 1, captain. Yeah, no, she wasn't a captain. She was just called number 1. Yeah, I think that's what it was. I can't remember, but if you guys know what I'm talking about, Black Cat anime series, then you know the connection that I have between Malenia and that leader of the Assassin's Guild. Yeah, she's cool. And the way she just moves around with this long sword, you know, I mean, it's as tall as she is. Maybe even a bit taller. It's just amazing. It's just amazing how she does that. Guys, I'm not seeing things. I know. I can see someone is in the roots, okay? There's someone in there. Yeah. Second phase. Here we go.
Wait.
I remember the first time I saw that. Oh, what a moment. Like I even paused just to see her, with her wings coming out like that and saying, "You will witness true horror." Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. And also, checking out other people who were playing the game for the first time. You could see their expressions as they were also shocked because they were like, "Oh, okay, she's defeated. Next thing, wait." You will witness true horror, and some people, they're just lost in it until the cinematic cuts out, and then they get killed almost immediately, and they're woken up from that trance. So yeah, it's always amazing to see Malenia transform into her final form. Yeah, it's amazing. Whoever this player is, what's the YouTuber's name? Esoteric? Yes, Esoteric must have taken a lot of time, practicing fighting Malenia, making his tarnished the right way with the right gear, with the right stats, so that he or she could fight against Malenia and survive this long and defeat Malenia, without incurring so much damage. So yeah, Esoteric must have practiced to make this video, and yeah, it shows. It really shows. But I'm just reminding myself of all those people before who tried so hard to defeat this lady so many times. The frustration, the crying, the anger. People sometimes throwing their controllers at the screens, at the monitors. And yeah, those were good times though. They gave me good laughs during COVID-19. Yeah, it was good. No matter how good you are, you still need to take some potions when you fight against this lady. Yeah. Yeah, that maneuver people really got angry about, the fact that she can do clone non-jutsu, just making shadow clones coming out of her like that, and then her final attack herself. Yeah, it's amazing. It's always a pleasure to witness your brilliance and just amazing abilities, Malenia. It's always a pleasure.
Dear Miquella. Oh, dearest Miquella. My brother. I'm sorry. I finally met my match.
Even with a map, I still feel lost. When I just looked at that map, it was just so confusing. Anyways. Okay guys, that's it with Malenia boss fight, no damage and Parry Elden Ring. Yeah, it was good to see Malenia again and the few words she spoke, you know, especially about you witnessing true horror and her, you know, asking for forgiveness to Miquella because she finally met her match. And, you know, she's saying that you have the true mark of a true lord, you know. And yeah, it was good to see her again. Okay, next one. Elden Ring, lore, Storytime, Miquella, and Malenia. Right, 3, 2, 1, go.
For many who lived in the lands between, the grace of the Erd Tree would be something they would never receive.
The grace of the Erd Tree. Okay, what is the Erd Tree? What is the Erd Tree, guys? And why do people need the grace of the Erd Tree? Yeah.
Condemned as graceless and impure, the only existence they would ever know would be one of persecution. But in the brutal snowfields of the north, in a secret land where only a chosen few were called to, was the promise of sanctuary, a place where those abandoned by grace would find their salvation. Miquella's Halig Tree, created by the demigod himself to one day grow into a new Erd Tree. The grace of the Halig Tree wouldn't be spared from those who needed it, and its blessings would be strong enough to cure even the debilitating decay of scarlet rot that plagued Miquella's beloved sister, Malenia. Though the bright future under the rule of Miquella's Halig Tree seemed within reach, it would forever remain unattainable to all who sought it, a dream to never flourish into reality, for Miquella would one day vanish.
The Halig Tree and Miquella and everybody else, like this entire place, is it part of the afterlife, or is it, you know, just as it is this living world, but you know, people need blessings from these trees, so they haven't been getting the blessings from the Erd Tree. Now they're getting blessings from the Halig Tree, a tree that was made by Miquella. I'm just trying to understand, you know, is this world based on is this like the living world, or is it the afterworld? Yeah, I'm just trying to ascertain that. Sorry guys if I sound confusing.
And Malenia, eternally devoted to her brother from birth, would spend the remainder of her days awaiting his return, unknowing that it would never come. Miquella.
So definitely Miquella is that root that I saw in the boss fight between you as the player and Malenia. Yeah, it must be him.
And Malenia were the twin children born to Marika and Radagon, in what was each their second marriage. Though the twins had been born as Empyreans, a title that qualified them to ascend to godhood, the revered status did not spare them from affliction. Miquella had been cursed with eternal youth, never to grow beyond the stature of a frail child. Malenia had been born plagued with scarlet rot, an incurable decay that ate away at flesh, and from which there existed no promise of relief. But despite their ailments, Miquella and Malenia excelled in their pursuits. In her youth, Malenia had met a blind swordsman who had become her mentor, and with his flowing, dancing blade, he trained Malenia to move as if on wings.
And man, did she learn how to move. Like, wow.
and her strength grew to be unparalleled. Though the scarlet rot had taken her limbs, she learned how to master the sword, and her reputation as an undefeated swordswoman spread throughout the land. Miquella pursued scholarship and remained close to his father Radagon, who later established the Golden Order, designed to be the perfect model of governance. But although it was touted to be flawless in its provisions, even the strictest adherents to the Golden Order had done nothing to cure his sister's suffering, and Miquella began to doubt the fundamentalist teachings that he had been raised on. He created a doctrine of unalloyed gold in order to search for a way to cure Malenia. Miquella developed needles of pure gold that could disrupt the meddling of outer gods, mysterious beings that would use manipulation to carry out their various wills. The unalloyed gold needles staved off even the spread of scarlet rot, which was itself the influence of the ancient god Rot, the very god that Malenia's mentor had sealed below the lands. For many, faith in the Erdtree had diminished, and the demigods were no exception to the skepticism of its guidance. Miquella was confident that he could create a more perfect Erdtree, and thus planted the sapling of the Halig tree, which he watered with his own blood. The Halig tree flourished and grew to tower magnificently above the ground. Its ornate promenades were adorned with sculptures in honor of its creator and his adored sister.
Wait, is it the bright yellow sun-like tree? Is that the Halig tree, or is it a different tree? Yeah, I just need to know about that. Wow. So Miquella tried to create a device that could disrupt the these gods from manipulating the lives of demigods and other mortals, from being cursed with various afflictions, mainly the scarlet rot, made by the god of rot himself. That's interesting. Okay.
Miquella's acceptance of Malenia, despite her scarlet rot, had been a symbol of hope for the unloved in the lands between. He became a savior to the meek and lowly. Those who had been abandoned by the Erdtree's selective grace would make a pilgrimage to the Halig tree as a refuge from their suffering. Miquella knew that if he could fasten himself within the heart of the Halig tree and wait, he would one day be transformed anew, and the vision of his order of unalloyed gold would be without flaw. So within the core of the tree he embedded himself, and Malenia, along with his devoted legion, would patiently wait out his slumber. While Miquella earned devotion through influence, Malenia earned it through battle. She titled herself the Blade of Miquella. Her very identity was no more than a physical extension of her brother's will. During the Shattering, she had led an army of clean rot knights, as fierce in battle as they were loyal, despite knowing that the inevitable decay would one day find them. Malenia and her knights remained undefeated in their campaign, and it was only upon reaching the red skies of Caelid that she would enter a battle in which she would not walk away the victor. General Radahn of Redmane Castle presided over Caelid, and his reputation as the most powerful of all demigods had been well earned. Malenia and Radahn fought to an exhausting standstill, but Malenia's own pride pushed her to conjure a brilliant flower of scarlet rot, an incantation that would blossom and rain decay over Caelid, and eventually devour away Radahn's sanity. Falling into a deep slumber after the Aeonian flower bloomed, Malenia was carried back to the Halig tree by her devoted knight, and there she remained, patiently awaiting the awakening of her brother from his chrysalis. But Miquella never awoke. In fact, the Halig tree had stopped growing. It was no longer thriving as it once had, for unknown to most, Miquella had been stolen from his sleep, cut out of the Halig tree and carried away while Malenia had been battling abroad.
Wait a minute, is that Miquella's hand coming out of that cocoon? That's his hand. And wasn't he supposed to be a child? That's not a child's hand. That is definitely not a child's hand, guys. No. Wow, okay.
Miquella had been spirited away by Mohg, Lord of Blood, who belonged to a persecuted group known as the Omen. Born into a cursed existence and shunned by the grace of the Erdtree, the Omen would only know a life of abuse and torment, and even those born into royalty would not be spared the cruelty inflicted upon their kind. Mohg may have very well heard the tales of Miquella's status as a savior, and in deciding he would compromise as being his regal consort, stole the sleeping demigod in hopes of raising him to godhood, so that together they could lead the Mohgwyn dynasty. But though Mohg tried to rouse him, Miquella remained asleep, never stirring in acknowledgement of his overtures. Even upon Mohg's death at the
Like, who are you? Who are you? You're not his family. If he won't wake up for his sister, who are you? Ask yourself that question. Who are you?
Hands of the tarnished, Miquella's deep slumber could not be cured, and all dreams of the grace that the Halig tree would offer to so many that needed it remained dormant with their creator. Malenia's battle with Radahn had left more than just scars upon the lands of Caelid. Out of the Aeonian swamp where the great scarlet flower bloomed, crawled life forms that had been born from the very rot that killed so many. Beings that longed for the warmth of a mother they believed had abandoned them. It was well known to them that Malenia was on the verge of ascending to godhood. The flower of scarlet rot needed but one more bloom before she would be christened as Scarlet Valkyrie, the very goddess of rot that her children longed to return. But Malenia didn't want the worship and servitude for what had plagued her as a curse all her life. She only wanted the fulfillment of the promise that Miquella made to her long ago. When the Tarnished advanced to the Halig tree on behalf of the greater will to snuff out all demigods, Malenia would one final time use her flowing blade in a beautiful display of her unrivaled swordsmanship. Yet as had once happened to her long ago, Malenia was pushed to the verge of defeat, but her pride no longer commanded her. This final time, she would bloom the scarlet flower out of her anger and her determination to protect her brother. On wings of butterflies rose the goddess of rot, shedding her armor and finally embracing the decay that she had resisted her entire life. Although Malenia would be bested by the one who would be crowned Elden Lord, she only expressed awe at the display of strength she had lost too. Just as Miquella had fallen into his deep slumber that none could awake him from, Malenia joined her brother in sleep, the brilliant Aeonian scarlet flower gracing her place of rest.
I think he's brain dead. I think Miquella is not gonna come back. I think the guy is brain dead. Maybe something that Mohg did, stealing his cocoon from the base roots of the tree, of the Helga tree. Maybe he disrupted his slumber and now he's brain dead. Yeah.
The Halig tree would never again grow. The sanctuary of redeemed grace its boughs had once promised would never become a reality to the many that put their faith behind it. It was nothing more than a husk, an empty symbol for what might have been, had fate been more kind to the Empyrean siblings. But perhaps one day, Miquella would return to fulfill his promise to Malenia. But to what world he would awaken to would remain a mystery to all but the Tarnished, who would be the only one to decide its very fate.
And imagine, you wake up, you see the world has changed drastically, and the only person that you truly care for is no longer here. I don't think he's gonna try and help the rest of you. You guys killed his only sister. I don't think he's gonna help. If anything, he's going to be extremely angry, and you try to fill that void with destruction and the suffering of the person who did this, who killed his own sister. Yeah. Okay guys, that's it with Elden Ring lore storytime, Miquella and Malenia. Yes, it was interesting to hear the backstory of Malenia being the Blade of Miquella, and like I said before, I don't see a child in that cocoon, because they said that Miquella is immortal and he will stay in a childlike form forever, and that hand that was popping out of that cocoon, that was not a child's hand, okay? That was like a full-grown man's hand, or a hand that was decaying over time or something. I don't know, but that was just weird. Really, that was just weird. Yeah, Malenia's just been sitting there thinking that her brother was right there in the roots, just waiting for him to wake up. I wonder, didn't she notice that something was wrong? Didn't she notice that her brother was not there? The cocoon. Maybe she didn't recognize or realize that, her brother was in some sort of cocoon, and the roots were like protecting that cocoon or something. I don't know, but you would have suspected that she would have known that her brother has been taken by someone. But yeah, this person, this Omen Mohg person, yeah, he has a lot of balls, and he's a bit arrogant to think that he could awaken Miquella from his slumber, and commit to him as some sort of Lord Protector or Regent, or someone that will cherish and love him as much as his sister. Like, who are you, man? Who are you? Who are you to proclaim such things? Yeah, that was very arrogant of him to do, actually. And he might probably be the one who disrupted the whole process of the tree growing more powerful, and being able to give grace to those who are not eligible to have grace from the earth tree. Yeah, so yeah, that was unfortunate, really. And Miquella tried to change the status quo of many people, and he tried to disrupt the will of the gods. And maybe even the gods have a bit of a hand in that. Maybe they wanted to compromise or to sabotage whatever Miquella wanted to do, and this is the end result of it. That dream that he had created with his own blood has now turned to ash, or should I say has turned to rot. The tree is slowly dying, or it's dead, and the people who've come on pilgrimage to this place have also lost hope, or should I say they're still having hope, but nothing will come of it because the tree is no longer active. Miquella is brain dead. I think he's brain dead, and Malenia has been defeated. So yeah, it's just bad. Okay, let's continue with the next one. Okay, the next one is Elden Ring Mohg Lord of Blood boss fight, 4K 60 FPS. Alright, 3, 2, 1, go. I don't think I've seen this boss fight, actually, Yeah, I don't think I've seen this one. Is that supposed to happen? Isn't he supposed to be, sleeping? What's this? And there he is, the usurper himself.
Dearest Miquella, you must abide alone a while.
So wait, you're telling me you are the blood that came out of that hand, that I'm assuming it is Miquella's hand? You're telling me you transformed yourself into blood and you've been in Miquella's body? Is that what is that how it is? I'm not sure. I'm just trying to understand, how is it that Miquella's arm could move like that, and then blood starts flowing out, and then you come out of that blood? So I'm assuming you are in that blood, and the blood was inside Miquella. Man, that's just nasty. That's nasty.
honored the guest to the birthplace of our dynasty.
You've gone mad. He's fast, kind of, you know, like he's focusing more on his heavy attacks. You know, unlike Malenia, where she attacks with agility, with speed, and also strength, all three at the same time. With this guy, it's mainly just strength and, you know, overwhelming force, I could say. Yeah. And a lot of magic. Is it raining blood that catches fire? What the hell, man? Yeah, that fire is hot. Imagine spraying someone with your blood and they catch fire. That's crazy. And what is he scratching? It must be some sort of magical spell. You know, you're just scratching the air and then boom. Nihil. Nihil. What does that mean? Oh, he has wings. Wow. I don't know. With Malenia, we had a cinematic and it was beautiful. Beautiful music. But with this guy, he's just like, meh. Yeah, I got wings too. I wonder which opponent is more difficult, Malenia or this guy. You guys in the comment section, you guys can tell me who's more difficult. Is it Mohg or is it Malenia to fight against? Because I think it's still Malenia. I mean, this guy, yeah, sure, he has powerful attacks, but I don't know. Yeah. Have a taste of my blood. Okay, when he has wings, he is more, you know, dangerous and a bit unpredictable, I guess. Yeah.
As clear as day.
There is no dynasty, Mohg. Just rest. I like that armor. I like the stomach, you know, plate armor there. That is cool. That is very cool. I wondered, can you know, crack open further that cocoon? Like, let's see Miquella. I want to see what he looks like. We can already see his arm. I want to see the rest of his body. Yeah. And the face as well. So interesting. Also a bit like ghastly, you know. It's just there, sticking out like that. Ugh. I would have done the same. I would have done the same. Okay guys, that was the last video. Elden Ring, Mohg Lord of Blood boss fight, 4K 60 FPS. And yeah, it was an okay battle, you know. I know it's another boss fight, but it just doesn't compare with Malenia, you know. She had the music, the boss type of music. She had the cinematics that would follow as well with that kind of boss cinematic. And even the setting was beautiful with the flowers and the roots. And with Mohg, yeah, it's okay, you know. Looks like you guys are so high up in the sky, you know, with the stars and the ruined temple or palace, you know. And then here he is talking his nonsense to Miquella, saying that you just have to be alone for a while I deal with this person behind me, you know, and saying that this is our dynasty and all that nonsense. And I'm like, this guy is just, he's a usurper. He is a usurper, you know, and he's been coveting something that does not belong to him, or someone that does not belong to him, I should say, you know. He ruined everything, probably. Maybe it was him or maybe it wasn't him, but he's part of the contributing factor that ruined everything. Yeah, so it's good that he's gone. It's just sad that Miquella's body is still there like that, you know. And it seems like he will never wake up. Yeah. Like I said before, I think he's brain dead. I don't think he'll ever wake up. And yeah, it's just a broken world that the tarnished, who will become the Elden Lord, will have to deal with. You, the player. You'll have to try and fix this world somehow. I don't know. I don't know if you can make another, you know, another tree that could be used as a blessing for, you know, those who are lost. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see if there's going to be an Elden Ring 2, where you as the Elden Lord will be doing things to repair this land. Yeah. Okay guys, that's it with the requests from JP Spectre N7. Thank you for watching my reactions. Remember, if you want to check out the original videos, I'm going to put the playlist link in the description below. If you like my reaction, please give me a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Click on the notification bell if you want to be up to date with my latest videos. And I'll see you guys next time. Okay? Good night.